Hi, I'm Liza McElroy, Director of the Winnetka Park District. We're here today with Scott Ferris of the Lakota Group to present plans, conceptual plans for the Skokie Playfield Master Plan. As a way of background, in the fall of 2008, the Winnetka Park District hired the Lakota Group to help us update the Skokie Playfield Master Plan, which had not been updated since 1995. So today we have Scott, who's going to show conceptual plans, and we are asking for you to give us your feedback by visiting the Winnetka Park District website at www.winpark.org. We will also have plans around town in the Park District facilities at the Grand and the Village Hall, as well as the library, and are asking, if you see these plans, to take a minute to look at them. And again, we are looking for all the feedback that we can get. So with that, I'd like to introduce Scott, who will walk you through the program to this point in time. Scott.
Thank you, Liza. Again, my name is Scott Ferris with the Lakota Group, and we are going to be doing a little program for you this afternoon that shows the range of ideas that we put together with regards to the Skokie Playfield Master Plan. Now, the process that we went through was a process that was developed working with the steering committee for the Park District, which has representatives from the Park District, the staff, Park District Commissioners Carolyn Kurtz, Bob Vandenbosch, and Richard Pierce are the folks on that committee. And as part of our consulting team, we are the Lakota Group doing the planning and the design work, but we also have, as part of our committee, Gabe Wells Hamilton as our civil engineers to address the stormwater management issues that are relative to the floodplain area that's part of the playfields. And we also have urban forest management, who is our tree experts that are part of the process of looking at the value and the complexity of some of the plant material that's out at the site, and making sure we don't impact that in the process of developing our master plan options. We've gone through a process by which we've analyzed and collected data, not only from the standpoint of addressing what's on the site and what's around the site, but also spent a great deal of time in what we call the focus group interview and stakeholder interview sessions. That is reaching out to the community, reaching out to the user groups, reaching out to interested individuals, reaching out to you today at home as we go through the process of trying to get input back from people on what they want to see occur over the long-term at Skokie Playfield. Now, the planning process that we're going through is not one of what's going to happen next year or the year after that, but more of a planning process that's outlining what could happen in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years, and putting those together in a plan that makes sense, both financially, but also physically, make sure that it can fit on the site. What are the capacities of the existing field? The process is also taking us to a community workshop number 1, which is really an information gathering workshop, getting people to understand what the issues are, still addressing what their thoughts and concerns are. And then we've recently completed what we call workshop number 2. Workshop number 2 is to present a range of options and ideas that we've developed for the site to show how a lot of these ideas that people have brought up can fit on the site, what their impacts are, and how we have to work in order to achieve those over the short and long term. Following workshop number 2, we decided that the next process was to reach out to as large of an audience as we possibly could. This program today is meant to reach out to folks at home who aren't able to meet or come out to our first 2 workshops. We also intend to put up boards at certain community locations, which you'll see around town, which would be at the Grand, at the Village Hall, the library, the post office, and certain other venues. The idea is to constantly reach out, get the ideas out, and then we hope that folks will get back to us with their thoughts, concerns, and ideas via what Liza had mentioned, which is the website at www.winpark.org. The process as we move forward past today and past this generation of meetings is to develop more refined plans to start weaving those ideas that people like and care about into a final vision or direction, to take that back to the community in another workshop. So we'll be holding another set of another round of workshops. In addition to that, we'll be developing a final master plan for the area, which defines phases, timelines, budgets, all those things that are put into a plan plan, then make it real and give it life and move it forward. And we'll wrap that up in the draft summary and take that before the board. We're hoping sometime in May, early June of this year. Workshop format doesn't really matter. This was the process we took through. We reached out to people and allowed them to give us their ideas at the workshop today. Since we're on a cable venue, we aren't having that. We're hoping you will get back to us as that outlined before. Engage, analyze, and develop is the goals of the process. Come up with ideas that have put all the thought and ideas, the analyzing the existing site capacities and constraints, understanding what's going on there from a circulation standpoint, from a land use context standpoint, and also what's the physical capabilities of putting new recreational amenities or enhancing the existing recreational amenities on the existing site. Then to develop those into a creative solution, and finally a comprehensive master plan. When we step back, we wanted to analyze not only the playfield in its current configuration of about 260 acres, but also step back and look at where it is in a regional perspective from not only the area of Winnetka, which you can see in the yellow highlighted bar area right here, but also from the North Shore communities that serve and use our playfield facilities, that being Glencoe, Northfield, Wilmette, and even some portions of Northbrook and Glenview. We wanted to look at that because we wanted to see what the impact is of our facilities on the outside, but also we wanted to make the point that in order for us to achieve all of our recreational goals as a community, we are reaching out beyond our own boundaries. We're actually going to some of these other communities, and we need to think about that and how we're either losing some of our opportunities here in town to other communities, or how we can bring them back in here and support them within our own open space and recreational system. The recreational amenities are part of the Winnetka Park District are broad. They range from the waterfront, which is one of our near and dear and sacred spaces, our lakefront amenities, our parks and the beachfronts that occur along there, our bike path system that runs along the Green Bay Trail, and then numerous neighborhood parks and playgrounds, tot lots, and pocket parks throughout the community. But clearly the crown jewel of all that is the Skokie Playfield parks, and also to some extent that of Duke Childs Fields, which is adjacent to it but not part of our park system. We look at this in the broader context of where it sits in the community, and while this master plan process is not addressing all of these parks or all of the amenities supported by them, we want to understand where they are, where the linkages are, and what they can do to support the planning process for Skokie Playfield, identified here in the center portion of the project. An overview of the playfield area, as I had mentioned, represents about 162.5 acres of area, of which about 135 acres, or 83%, is taken up by the golf course areas, that being the 19 and the 18 and the 9-hole golf course facilities and their supporting amenities. Recreation, the ball field areas represent about 15 acres, or 9%, tennis about 5.5, paddle about 0.8 acres, ice arena about 2.3, and parks and maintenance facilities themselves about 3.1 acres. Of that 162 acres, about 156 of it is in the floodplain, and 96% of the Skokie Playfields sit within the floodplain area. Important fact to consider, because as we think about what we want to see happen there, as we want to improve those fields or bring in new amenities to that space, we're going to have to deal with the floodplain issue and how we remedy that, how we remediate that in order to make those happen. Impermeable amount of water that moves or does not move through the site represents about 10.7 acres. Most of the site, as you see, is an open space, about 150 acres that is actually permeable green space. From our first workshop, some of the thinking, some of the themes, some of the issues that came out, we want to highlight those with regards to the common opportunities and ideas that came out. Working within the floodplain and the drainage are an important component. We need to consider the piecemeal development of the park. How it's been developed over the many, many years that it's been there has led to much more of a scattered configuration as opposed to an organized configuration of amenities. Over-programmed fields, we heard over and over again from the user groups and the folks we interviewed that there's too much going on at too many times, not enough overlap, and not enough ability for those lawn spaces or those green spaces to regentrify themselves in between the events. Access and circulation, lack of support facilities, particularly within the realm of washrooms, restrooms,